in the past, we've had Nick Usborne, Donna Bear Stein, Richard Armstrong, Dan Kennedy, Ed Nicholas, Mike Palmer, John Ford, Bob Bly, Donna Doyle. So now we're going to announce our Copywriter of the Year, Carline. The very best person to say a few words about Carline is Clayton Makepeace. So please welcome Clayton to the stage.
I've been up here tons of times over the years. I've received honors and awards up here. I've received your applause, but there is no thrill like this one. Don't do that.
There's Kleenex under there.
Carline called me in when was it? 1998. Carline called me up. And I knew her from Phillips. I'd met her entire family. They were all wearing the same fabric, clothes that she had made for them. And her son Chatham, who's now a big old guy, was a babe in arms at the time. And I remember my first, before I go there, Carline is the first person to find out that Wendy and I were in love. She was the first person to find out that we were having a child. She's been the first in a lot of ways in our lives. So she called me up and asked if I could teach her how to write copy. And I said, I think you've got it. I really do. But you're working for my biggest client right now. And so I can't tell you to leave. But when you do, call me. And she did. And so we started writing promotions together. We worked on in the Phillips Health Group and at the time. And I remember my first meeting with Carline. We were brainstorming new premiums for the Health and Healing newsletter. And somebody suggested, why don't we have a premium on how to have sex safely after a heart attack? And I'm brand new at this. The president of the company's in there and everything. And Carline goes, nobody wants to know that. They want to know how to have sex that'll give you a heart attack. Remember that one?
Her mother and children are
you talking about
grandchildren.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, there's a story about that too. So I gave her her first job after she left Phillips to teach her how to write copy, and it just happened to be. I'm sorry your whole family's here to hear this, but at least Chatham's not, right? Our first project was to write for a male potency product. And it was a magalog. And so she sends me her first draft copy. And I read it, and I called her back. And I said, Carline, you write like a girl. This is a package for guys, you know? Guys with potency problems, guys that want to get women. You got to write like a guy. I said, this is horrible. I said, you got to burp, fart, adjust your package, and go rewrite this thing. And she did, and it was awesome. The next one was Forbidden. I don't know how we got on this tear, Carline, but the next one was Forbidden Secrets of Sex and Healing. It was for a different client, right? Yeah, it was for Weiss. And when they had a health division. And we wrote the package, turned it in. And Martin, the president, the owner of the company, said, I love this copy. I love this copy. I'm so smart that I put a man and a woman together on this project. Because, we got the man stuff in there, all of this stuff about biting pillows and clutching sheets and, headboards and stuff like that, And then we got the women's side of it that's all about hugging and tenderness and support and closeness. And Carline says, I wrote that really randy stuff. Clayton wrote the snuggle stuff. And it was true. Carline really immerses herself in every project she gets involved with, body and soul. And I remember, we said earlier she's number 1 and number 2 in her digestive health packages. And so I remember, I think it was that first package that you showed the other day, I could be wrong, digestive health package. But there was, I told this at another boot camp, so you don't have to be horrified, Carline. But there was this doctor, he says, you take this liver cleanse package, this product, and these little fur balls start coming out of you when you go to the bathroom. And Carline, of all of us in the room, she sat bolt upright and she started looking around at all of us to see if we had a reaction. And we just all kind of laughed. We didn't really believe it. Next day in my email, I've got photographs of fur balls in toilets. There's another one about urine therapy that we won't go into.
Thank you.
I told her we were going to. There was one of the packages I think she showed us, but she didn't really go there with it. But you talk about the difference between courage and fearlessness, right? Well, she wrote a package that was supposedly by a Chinese doctor. And the headline she had in there was, "Why You No Sleep." So these are things I couldn't get away with in my wildest dreams. But not only did she do them, she fought for her ideas, she worked them through, and she got them printed. And in most cases, she got winners, big winners. And she is absolutely at the pinnacle of the health industry today in terms of copywriters. If you have something you want to sell in that industry, Carline is the number 1 name you want to call. So there are a lot of qualities that have made Carline who she is. And writing, believe it or not, is not the number 1 quality. The qualities that got her to where she is really have to do with an instinct for the product, knowing people, understanding how to persuade, understanding how to identify benefits, even buried benefits. But they also have to do with these other things that we all love so much about her. She's fearless. She's outrageous. There's no way to be with Carline and not laugh your tail off. It's just impossible. It never happens. She's entertaining in her copy, right, as well as in real life. You can't read her stuff without being riveted. She has more energy than any number of nuclear power plants. She's honest as the day is long. She found out that a product that she was promoting had the substance that supposedly produced a positive result, just not enough of it to actually do anything for you. And she's sending money back to the company. And I don't want to have anything to do with this. That takes guts. And those qualities, in addition to her vision and her courage in fighting for her ideas, have gotten her to where she is today. And she went from her very first year as a copywriter. She made more money than she did as a top executive at Phillips Publishing because of this kind of commitment. Now, I don't know Carline as well as some people do. She's a part of our family. We adore her. But I have 2 people here who know her a lot better and who are willing to tell you some stories about Carline to give you more insight on what it takes to succeed.
Come on up.
Welcome Milan and Tiara Cole, Carline's daughters.
Hi.
When Clayton asked Milan and I to do a little bit of an introduction for this year's AWAI's 2015 Copywriter of the Year, our mom, we were super excited, clearly. But then when we got together to actually put together a little presentation about it, we were scared to death. The reason why is, how in the world can we put all of our mom's awesomeness into just a few minutes? So we sat down, we wrote things out, we brainstormed together, and we came up with this little presentation that we have for you right here today. It's entitled The Many Faces of Carline Anglade-Cole. Now, for Milan and myself, I think I have a little clicker here. There
you go.
Right?
Right click.
Okay, right click. You all know her as the copywriter extraordinaire. We know her simply as Mom. She was the one that would get us up in the mornings, get us dressed, do our hair, make our lunches before we went to school, which typically included a little note with the lunch that would a little something like, have a good day, learn something new, make me proud of you. So we had a little taste of the copywriting right there. As we got into our teenage years, though, those notes were a little adjusted. It went a little something like, have a good day, learn something new, don't make me mad at you. And that was written in all caps and followed by a smooches at the end. So that's what we knew as with our mom. Now, as you can clearly see from this photo, our mother had a very interesting style that leads me to our next category that has led us to have it's a lasting mark that's been on our lives. It's entitled The Seamstress. Now, Clayton alluded to this very briefly. When it came to our clothes, Mom used the same level of creativity as she does in many of her most successful packages. The same level of creativity and out-of-the-box thinking with these packages as well went into all of our clothes. They were never the same twice. In her eyes, always looked nice, and were passed down thrice. When I looked back at these pictures, though, after I got over the initial, oh my God, I can't believe you made us wear these in public, I see so much more to my mom, and I know Milan and I, we talked about this a lot, and we both agreed that when it came to our clothes, she put the same level of love, adventurous spirit, and passion into every single outfit. Sometimes they were total flops, but then sometimes they were solid gold. But do you know that anybody who knew our family would always look forward to see what Carline was going to put us in next? It's kind of like what happens when she boldly pushes the boundaries and puts out those packages that make you go, wow, or what the heck? So she made sure also that all of these outfits, they stayed in style, they stayed in circulation. I don't think I didn't have a non-matching dress until I was about 12 years old, because in the same way she rolls out those controls, she rolled out those dresses. They went through all three of us, and then when they were done with us, when we finally outgrew them, she passed it down to our family and friends. She made sure that those outfits with her clack label were going to be recognized for years to come. Just like when you pick up a Carline Cole package, it radiates her style. So, can you see why she's such an extraordinary writer? But it didn't stop there with the clothes. The seamstress was done with making our outfits, finally when we got to teenage years. So then she went on a scarf campaign. Basically, at the rate that she puts out these successful controls, she was making and crocheting scarves. Like, our whole family was scarved. Our families in multiple states were scarved. Co-workers were scarved. Basically, if you met her, she'd try to scarf you. In fact, I think we have some recipients of some scarves up here as well.
I love it. I love it.
So little did Milan and I realize that this was just the beginning when it came to the seamstress, and that it would lead to much bigger, more amazing things for Carline Cole to accomplish for others. And I think Milan is going to take care of this next one.
Genuous, generous, and compassionate. Those are three words that sum up my mom in a nutshell. It's the little things that she does that makes the biggest impact in her copy, and that makes her the queen of controls. The same is true in her personal life. It's the little things that she does that makes her stand out from the rest and endears her to others. For example, I don't know if you all have ever heard of Banker Appreciation Days. It's when a very nice customer goes into the local branch and says, "It's Banker Appreciation Day. Lunch on me. Thank you for everything that you do. I really appreciate you." I had never heard of that until my mother, that nice customer, was riding home one day and called me and said, "It's Banker Appreciation Day." I'm like, okay, Banker. I didn't know that she had been doing this for years. It was just a normal thing that she does. She doesn't need any applause or fanfare for anything. It's just her nature to want to put a smile on people's face. That's just a small example of her generosity. Now, a bigger one, right click we said? All right. Yep. Would be what I like to call the Jennifer Project. My mom met Jennifer a few years back, and Jennifer was a Hurricane Katrina victim. She had 2 small kids and needed a place to live. The kids didn't have much at all, no toys, not even beds of their own to sleep in. So she and my dad got together, and they had purchase a distressed property that needed a lot of work, as you can tell. That's him in the corner down there putting in the floors. And when my mom decided to take this on, she asked her friends, family, congregation members, anyone that was willing to help to pitch in. And a major renovation started happening. And let me tell you, we all know that this woman can make a sale. But in less than 20 minutes, she went down in the basement, created an email letter asking friends, family, anyone who was willing to donate to the project, to dig deep, check your basements, check your storage closets, anything you want to donate. We want to make this house a home for Jennifer. 99.999% of the emails that went out came back, and people donated things. Many even dug down deep in their pockets and bought brand new items. So she can make a sale. It doesn't matter what she's doing. And it was so nice to see people coming out of the woodworks to donate and be a part of this project. We caught Jennifer's reaction on camera when the whole thing was done. There she is in the bottom corner, totally surprised because you see the house is totally renovated. Beautiful. From top to bottom. Her kids had beds to sleep in. They had toys to play with. It was an awesome thing to see this and to really be a part of that project. And the smile on my mom's face is the smile on her face that you see whenever she makes someone smile, no matter how big or how small the project is. So that was pretty awesome to be a part of. But, you know, to me, one of the biggest examples of generosity and her kindness and compassion is evident in her most favorite job of Coco. You guys got to see the boys yesterday. But here's the thing with these kids. They're pretty awesome. I'm not just saying that, you know. But really, they're the inspiration for a lot of things that she does. She's a big part of their lives, and she's front and center in their world always. Now, we saw the whole Jeremy example yesterday, and the market didn't quite think the same thing we did when it came to the response of, we thought that thing should have won. Come on, that was an awesome package. It should have. And maybe after the postmortem, well, it might again. But the fact of the matter is that will always be my favorite package because my family was the inspiration for Jeremy. So I could go on and on and on, and I'm very nervous right now. So I won't. I'm going to stop that right now. But the fact of the matter is there's so much more that I could say. There's so much more that we all could say about my mom. But we're going to let her come up on stage now and say a few words herself.